Fabulous. Welcome. I'm Dr. Stacey. Thank you for joining me here today on the podcast, Diets Don't Work. It is my honor and pleasure today to introduce to you my special guest, Jenny Smith of Simplified Lifestyle Coaching. Jenny's from Phoenix, Arizona, and we're going to be diving into how you can begin to heal your health naturally by improving sleep. Sleep is a huge issue. So many people are suffering from lack of sleep, which directly affects their lifestyle, their mood, their productivity, and so much more. So it's essential to have great sleep so that your body can heal, nurture, and restore, because restoration happens during rest. So without any further ado, welcome, Jenny. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stacey. I'm super excited to be here with you, talking about sleep.
Excellent. So let's dive right in. What are some of the biggest factors that you, with your clients, what do they complain about? What are some of the biggest things that are preventing them from having great sleep?
My clients, they're moms. So oftentimes it's kids are up in the middle of the night, or, my kids are in bed. So now I'm going to stay up and binge Netflix. And we know what happens with Netflix, right? It's one episode after another, and it's hard to shut off. So I think TV in the bedroom is a big one that really prevents sleep, or they're scrolling social media. It's their downtime. The house is quiet and they are exposing their eyes to the blue light. And we know that the blue light is very stimulating and it shuts off the production of melatonin. And melatonin is needed to induce sleep. So those are a few of the scenarios that I find that my clients struggle with. And that's something that we work on together in my program.
Excellent. I'm so glad that you brought those up, because these are easy things to change, easy things to shift to improve your sleep. But most people aren't consciously aware of how it truly affects the quality of sleep and the duration of sleep. So yes, number one, moms with young ones having interrupted sleep, that is a huge factor, because when you're not having concentrated times of dedicated sleep, we're always being awakened after short periods of sleep. You never get into that deep restorative REM sleep, into that deep sleep where restoration can happen in the body. You're always kind of in that superficial, just kind of nodded off sleep, but not into that deep, restful, restorative sleep. So that is not necessarily something that you can change easily while the young babies are learning to become more sleep self-sufficient on their own. They're hungry, they need to be fed. So yes, however, at that moment in life where you are nurturing and caring for a wee one, it is vitally important that you care for yourself too. And this generally is really the only time where I'm a huge proponent of naps. The rest of the time, no naps.
Yes.
If you're not having great sleep later, like the kids are grown, or they're not waking up in the middle of the night. Let's even just get to that point, right, where they're no longer waking up in the middle of the night, but you are, or you're not having great sleep, or you're waking up and not able to go back to sleep. In that scenario, because it's upon your own self, it's not someone else waking you up as an infant wanting to be fed. I do not encourage naps at all during that time, because now you're just perpetuating your own cycle of horrible sleep. Because sure, you nap because you're exhausted in the afternoon, right? And so you have a quick nap, but what's that going to do to your nighttime sleep except continue to break it up?
Right.
So
yeah. And with the parents who have older children, oftentimes it's eating too close to bedtime. We know that if we eat right before bedtime, it interrupts our sleep because our body's busy digesting our food versus doing the repair that you mentioned earlier. Because that's what happens when we sleep. Our body is repairing itself. So if we are eating right before bed, that's going to impair our sleep. If we're drinking a lot of fluids right before bed, if we're drinking caffeine too late in the day, Alcohol is another big one. I have a lot of women who tell me that they turn to alcohol to help calm their nerves and to release stress in their life. And it really backfires on them because it's the same thing. Your body is spending so much time removing the alcohol, the liver's doing all this work to get the alcohol out of your system versus doing the repair that it needs to do. So those are the things that interrupt and kind of get in the way of the natural cycle of what we should be doing, which is sleeping to repair.
Absolutely. And when you're doing those things too close to bedtime, your body's confused. It doesn't know whether it's supposed to digest or if it's
Mhm.
supposed to rest because you just loaded the system with a whole bunch of stuff. And so all of those organs and systems are revving up and functioning, but yet you just laid yourself down and it's dark and you're supposed to be going to sleep. And now the body is just has no idea what you're up to.
Absolutely.
So that really does affect sleep. Not only that, but of course, when you're digesting right before sleep, what happens after digestion? There has to be elimination, voiding. It
Mm,
has to be released from the body. So now, a couple hours later, you have to go to the bathroom. Well,
yes.
how does that draw you into great sleep? It does not. So you're not doing
Mhm.
yourselves any favors at all. And yes, you're right. A lot of people feel that, oh, a glass of wine in the evening helps to calm me or relax me, or it gets me into that state, right? An intoxicated state, basically.
Mhm. Yeah.
However, it is a stimulant and it interferes with sleep. And these are some of the mechanisms how not only through the liver having to function to break down those toxins to eliminate them. Also, now you've loaded your body with more liquid, which needs to be eliminated too. So now you're up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Mhm.
But the
Yeah.
alcohol itself disrupts the normal biochemistry of the body
Mhm.
and is not of any benefit either. So sorry to dispel those myths, but this is what we do, is share with you how to heal your health naturally. So let's step into some things that you recommend that people do to help improve and have better, deeper, restorative, healthy sleep.
Yes. So one of the big things is having a routine that you can stick to almost every day that is setting your biological clock and getting the body knows when to wake and the body knows when to wind down for sleep. And so one of the things I recommend with my clients is within waking, at least within the first 20 minutes, expose your eyes to the sunlight or to the daylight, because that is setting the circadian rhythm and setting all of the melatonin to start production for the next cycle. Um, so many women aren't familiar with that, and it's just something that I learned in my journey that, oh, we should be, rising with the sun and going down with the sunset. So as the sun does go down and it gets darker, that's when we need to start to unwind. And I'm a big proponent of blue light glasses. If you are not able to shut off those screens or you are having family time in front of the TV, um, we all have a pair of blue light glasses. Sometimes I can get my kids to wear them. Most of the time I can't. But if I'm setting the example for them, they will follow and they'll be like, oh, mom is wearing the blue light glasses. It must be important. And so that just blocks the blue light, which is stimulating, which prevents the production of melatonin. And we need the melatonin naturally to be produced to help us fall asleep. And some of those other things that I mentioned, with the digestion, not eating 3 hours before bed, um, no more than 8 ounces of fluids, 2 hours before bed, making sure your room is dark and cool when you go to sleep. So not having any distractions, the alarm clock lights, um, a dimmer, anything like that, that's going to prevent you from getting into that deep sleep. So those are a few of the things that I focus on with my clients to help them with the downtime. Also, a magnesium bath. Soaking in Epsom salts right before bath can help you. If you've had a really stressful day, push aside the wine and say, honey, kids, mom's going to the bathroom. I'm going to soak in my bath and read a really good book. So that's one of
And
my
actually, I
faves.
would, that's amazing. And actually, I wouldn't even announce it to the family. I would just go to the bathroom, have the nice Epsom salt soak, maybe with some dim candles lit, put a do not disturb sign, and let them know ahead of time. Whenever you see this, don't knock. Don't just
Yeah.
do what it says. It says, do not disturb, leave me alone. So I wouldn't
Mhm.
necessarily announce that I'm going to the bath, but I would definitely go hang the sign on the door. And that's my 15 or 20 minutes. So I love
Yep.
what you shared in regards to a bedtime routine. It is really important. Just think of infants, parents, as they're raising a new young one. A bedtime routine is important to have the baby understand and get their days and nights set and regulated. That you will often have, the nighttime feeding, then a nice warm bath. You'll dim the lights in the room. You may rock in the rocking chair for a few minutes, and you'll have a bedtime story, and into bed they go. And the
Mhm.
door gets closed, and to sleep they go. And they know this routine. It's the preparation of the body mentally, physically, emotionally, getting ready that, yes, I'm going to sleep now. And
Mhm.
so doing that for yourself as an adult, it's not silly, it's essential. So I
Yes.
highly recommend that at least 2 hours before bedtime, shut off the screens. No
Mhm.
scrolling, no videos, no movies, no TikTok, nothing. 2 hours
Absolutely.
before bed. And during
Yes.
that time, go out for a 10 or 15-minute walk outside, ground, breathe the air, de-stress from the day, experience nature. And then when you come back in, you can start your indoor bedtime routine. So go have that Epsom salt bath. Maybe do a 15 or 20 minute of restorative yoga, where you may
Mhm.
just do child's pose, cat cow, some gentle stretching to loosen up your body, because bodies are meant to move. And not only if you've had a stressful day, you want to do some physical relaxation for your body, but also doing some yoga and doing some stretching helps those tense muscles of the day to be stretched out a little bit, because during the night you don't move that much. And the
Mhm.
muscles get more tense and tense through the course of the night because you're not moving much. So if you have low back pain or tension headaches or things like that, if you do some stretching before you hit the hay, and then do some gentle stretching in bed when you wake up, but before you stand up and compress everything and hit the floor for the day, do some gentle stretching when you first wake up too. Gently wake up the muscles, get the blood flowing, warm them up before you stand up and compress everything for the day. That will give your body physical relaxation as well. Exercise is also a great benefit to tire your body physically, making you
Mhm.
more prepared for sleep. But don't exercise right before bed,
Yes.
because exercise does create energy in your body,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you don't want to be energized when it's bedtime. So do your exercise earlier in the day. I love doing mine first thing in the morning.
Me too.
And then of course, don't drink 2 hours before bedtime. Have your 2 liters of water through the course of the day, set it out in front of you, have it completed by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or something like that in the evening, so that your body has the opportunity to process it and void it before it is bedtime.
Mhm.
Now you're going to decrease your risk of being awakened in the middle of the night by your bladder.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
as you're heading to bed, read a book, not a ebook, not something on a screen. Read a book
And do not
where
read a
you can listen.
thriller.
No, something peaceful,
Yes.
enjoyable, relaxing, dreamy, love,
Mhm.
whatever. Not a study book. It's not a homework book. And or listen to a guided meditation on Audible. You're not
Yeah.
looking at the screen. You may just be listening to a guided meditation, soft mantra music, or even just nature sounds as you drift off
Mhm.
to sleep. So all of those
Yeah.
are some easy things, free things, simple things that you can begin to implement to induce better sleep in your day. And truly,
Doc-
you should be waking up in the morning before your alarm. If your alarm
Yes.
needs to wake you up, you are sleep deprived. So,
Yes. Dr. Stacey, I was going
Jenny,
to add to that
yes, go ahead.
journaling as well. I think journaling is a really good tool to add to that. Like if you so a lot of times women are struggling with falling asleep because they have so much on their mind. Oh, I have to do this tomorrow. I have to do this tomorrow. I have to do this tomorrow. I got to do this. And with the holidays coming, we all know a lot of it falls on us. And so having the journal next to you, refer to it as the parking lot. If you do wake up in the middle of the night, turn to your parking lot, dump it all down, write it all down, release it. It'll be there tomorrow. Remove it from your brain. Oftentimes that really helps women being able to write it out and getting it out so that it doesn't stay within their minds. And I also love the meditation piece of that. That's the whole purpose, is just to focus on relaxing versus focusing on the to-do list.
Absolutely. And if you are awakened in the middle of the night with a thought like, oh my goodness, I have to do this, whatever. It's not about getting up, turning on the light, sitting in bed and writing out all this stuff. It's about leaving the light off in the middle of the night. It's about jotting down one word or two words to refresh your memory. And it's about you not having to remember it. That's the only purpose of that point. Now, you can certainly journal before you've gone to sleep. So when you've done your bath and you're doing some reading or something, you've done your yoga, stretching, you can journal to release the argument that happened, and rip it up and burn it or whatever, release it. You can journal the things that the to-do list for tomorrow, so that it's not up here, it's now released on paper, it's in concrete form, and you don't need to remember it. So you can certainly journal in bed before going to sleep. But when you are awakened in the middle of the night, don't turn the light on. Just grab that piece of paper, that notepad and pen, and just scribble down the two words, whatever, and let it be. And then you can go back. So excellent. Any last comment, Jenny, that you would like to share before we sign off today for our podcast, Diets Don't Work?
Yes. So something that my doctor had told me, she's a functional medicine doctor, and that's my specialty, functional medicine. And sleep is a big part of it. Sleep is probably number one. That's where our energy comes from. That's where our healing comes from, all of that. She said that your bed should be for sleep and sex only, nothing else, which was really difficult for me. It was a difficult habit for me to break, because I would watch TV in bed. I would read in bed. I would it was easy to just be in bed, but it confuses our body when we are in our bed doing those things. And another thing that I would like to mention is, if you are struggling to fall asleep, don't lay in bed no more than 20 minutes. Get up and go do one of those relaxation things that we mentioned: meditation, movement, journaling with low light, just to get the juices flowing to get ready for bed again. Because if we're laying there, we're just going to toss and turn and look at the clock and just get stressed out. So it's best to get out of bed and do all those things. And then when we're tired, get back into bed.
Excellent point. And don't make your bed your homework place. When you bring work home, it's not your homework place. It's not for grading papers if you're a teacher. It's not for business. It's not for anything else. As she said, your bed is for sleep and to be with your partner. And your bedroom, really, you should not have your office in your bedroom. Your bedroom should be for those two things. No TV in the bedroom, no entertainment, no video games. Leave your phones out of the bedroom. Shut off your Wi-Fi too, of course, during the course of the night when the house is shut down, because it's just radiating your entire household. So shut off your Wi-Fi for all your wireless stuff to improve your health naturally. Thank you so much, Jenny. I truly appreciate you being here with us today for Diets Don't Work. You can always contact Jenny at Simplified Lifestyle Coaching. Jenny's in Phoenix, Arizona. And thanks so much for sharing your time with us. I'm Dr. Stacey. Thanks for joining us at Diets Don't Work for the podcast. Click, like, and share, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Stacey.
Thank you, Jenny.